Oh, right. We all have
Of
different
course.
things that we like or that we love. But the main thing is that we deal with what is going on with us and we don't hide it and we don't mask it behind something else. Because if you do, you're going to release it in a different form, and it may be through negativity towards someone else, or maybe through a drug or alcohol or anything else. And we want to avoid that. I
Yeah.
think in this life, as far as being in America, we are often uh, we sidetrack our problems, right? Or we mask them by doing
Yeah.
different things instead of just saying, "Hey, this is what I'm dealing with. These are one of the these are the things that are bothering me, and I need to take care of them." We don't do that. Hey, how you doing? I'm okay. I'm all right. How about you? And it's a
Yeah.
lie. Every day you hear it, and I realized that years ago, like, oh, this shit is a lie. Everybody says that, but you're
Everyone.
saying it because that's the norm, right? Hey, how you
Yeah.
doing? I'm good. How are you? You're not good. You're
Yeah.
lying. It's
Yeah.
a lie. But we have to do that because we're masking, and not only that, but we may be on the job or
Right. It's not
that
the
may,
time to, I mean, working in a grocery store, someone's like, "Oh, how are you?" And be like, "Oh God, today's a bad one." I mean,
and
people
but
aren't
with me, I
prepared.
would be the guy to be like, and what makes it so bad?
Right,
You know?
exactly. And most people are not prepared for those answers. It's really just a reflex response to be able to just kind of like move on with the conversation, especially as
Yeah.
Midwesterners. Like, that's just what we do. You say I'm fine, and then you carry on, and that's about it.
Yep.
You're
I'm the guy that goes, and what makes today such a bad day? And they'll
yeah,
explain it to me, and I'll go, oh, okay. So you're having an adult experience, like you're alive. So there are things that you need to figure out about yourself or this life, or you need
yeah,
to get through these things. And they're like, oh well, such and such happened, and I'm trying to deal with this, or I'm dealing with that. I was like, yeah, a lot of us are.
yeah,
A lot of us are. Like there are things that we all have to deal with, man. Like this is the way things are. And it's not to downplay the things that they're dealing with, but it's for me it's acknowledging that there is a problem.
yeah,
Acknowledging that there is a problem and saying you can either do something about it or not do something about it. But you have
yeah.
to move forward. You have to move forward. Um, I know someone who I love very much that did move forward. And they killed themselves. They committed suicide. So I don't know why.
Right.
Maybe they felt like life was so horrible that that they had to do it. But I just think to me, it was a selfish decision to do it. You left your kids and your wife and everything else out here, kind of like alone. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I
But
don't understand it. So
I'm definitely glad to see more movement for mental health awareness.
yeah,
Um, I mean, we're so, with this culture and society, we're so involved with what's going on with us. And there's so much shaming and bullying and everything that's happening. And to see just the beginning, like, I feel like I'm hoping that this is just the tip of the iceberg movement
yes,
for mental health awareness, because yeah, especially this year, everyone is struggling. Everybody is going through, and under normal circumstances, everybody typically is going through something.
yeah,
And especially now, it's just on such a different level. And for people to be sharing their experiences and being able, there's such a stigma around saying, I'm depressed, I'm anxious, I feel like I'm have these huge mood swings, and
I'm
I
hurting.
think I might be bipolar. And um, the more people speak up about that, and people are saying, oh, it's just for attention, it's like, or people are actually just finally speaking up that this is what's going on in their head and they need an outlet. Like, by saying it, they're asking for support and they're asking for resources and everything. And the more that we can put those resources out there and tell them, hey, like, yeah, you're not alone. Like, I'm not taking away from what you're going through, because everybody's level of what's tough is different. So, people are like, right after James died, people would always tell me like, well, I'm not going through what you're going through. I'm like, well, that doesn't mean that you're not having a hard time. You don't have to lose your spouse in order to say, I'm having a hard time with this. Like, you are perfectly valid in saying, you know what, this is really hard for me. I don't know how to make it through.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And that's what, it's just so common for people to diminish their own experience of what's happening just because they're comparing it to somebody else. And I mean, and I catch myself doing this sometimes too. And I think we all do it, where we get into the inner dialogue of nobody understands this. Nobody understands what I'm going through. Nobody knows how hard this is for me. And we feel like we're all alone. And like how I was saying before, the more that we talk about our own things, and that's why I talk about the things that I go through. And that's also why I put it on social media, because social media is so much of comparing ourselves, and we read stories and we think everybody else is having, this great life or whatever on the outside based on what we see on posts and pictures and stuff. And if somebody sees my post and they're like, you know what, that's a really honest post. Like, you can see, the struggle or the sun after the storm type of thing.
Yeah.
Great, because that's real. So I'm
Cause he threw me off.